So hello and welcome. My name is Amber Scarring and I'm the CEO of a charity called Wessex Community Action. We're actually a charity that's a little bit like the Chamber of Commerce in that our purpose is to support and guide the wider voluntary and community sector. So I guess the question is, why work for a charity? So I thought it might be just helpful to share a little bit about my journey into the charitable sector. I actually trained as a fashion and textile designer. And through that work, I traveled abroad as a designer and worked a lot in other countries, in the factories, particularly where the clothes were made. And as a result of that, I saw and experienced the living and working conditions of those that worked in that industry, in those countries. And it really wasn't good. And that really led me to feel that through the work I did in the fashion industry, that I was contributing negatively to people's quality of life. And I didn't wish to do that. And so that got me wondering how else I could put my skills and training to good use that actually benefited individuals and communities. I also trained as a permaculture designer, and that led me to being recruited to join a new charity called the Bioregional Development Group, which was taking an interest in the time in sustainable fibre crops that could be grown for paper and textiles in the UK. And that was my first taste of working in the charitable sector. And then from there, I moved into local government, focusing on communities, enabling communities to find and support activities and events and services that they needed for themselves. And then I went back into a charitable sector again. So my initial work in the sector was as a volunteer, and that experience gave me new skills that enabled me to apply for other jobs within other charities. And that, as I have already mentioned, led me into local government and then back out again. So I hope that just gives you a flavour that there are many pathways into the sector. And you can go in straight from school, learn on the job, or explore specific areas of interest, maybe in marketing and communication or HR, and take that degree route around those chosen topics. But perhaps the foremost reason for pursuing any kind of charitable work is about making a difference. You know, working for a charity is incredibly rewarding. It's a career path that focuses on driving change and helping to improve the lives of others. And here are some reasons why it could be an ideal career move for you. Given the significant portion of our lives we spend at work, knowing that the time you spend makes a difference to others can be really fulfilling. And there are many reasons people work for a charity. Some choose a particular organization because they've got a real interest in its ethos, its values, and that it's making a real difference to the quality of people's lives. And one of the positives of working in a charity is that overwhelming sense of driving change. It can be stimulating and rewarding work with a real sense of fulfillment. Charity careers are very often varied and flexible. Role opportunities can be incredibly diverse, offering really unique professional pathways for those open to new possibilities. And jobs really cut across things like IT, marketing and communications, HR, logistics and finance. They all sit alongside positions in retail and fundraising or frontline aid, outreach work, research and data analysis, clearly representing a wealth of options. So if you are, for instance, an outreach worker within a charity, your work may include direct support to individual clients whom you support and walk alongside to help them live their best lives in the way that they choose. And in fact, can do almost any corporate job you can think of, but in the charitable setting. So having experience in the charity sector can also make it easier to move from one specialism to another. But not only is there a wide array of job roles, but there's also variety within roles. And you may find yourself at a desk one day cheering on a fundraising event and the next day and meeting beneficiaries the day after that. So there's always lots going on in the charitable sector and plenty of opportunities to get involved in new things and develop new skills. And whilst for in some charities, the salary may not be the biggest benefit of the sector, flexibility certainly is. And around something like 20% of charitable jobs listings are advertised as flexible or remote, which is 3 times more than the average across all sectors. And as well as flexibility with work hours and location, charities are much more open to flexible working arrangements such as job shares or compressed hours. Plus, work for a national or international charity, you might even get the chance to travel. So charities exist to move the world forward and make life better. And therefore, there will be lots of forward thinking and really interesting projects to get involved in, as well as chances to be creative and innovative. And smaller charities, where there often isn't enough staff to have a particular role specialism, can have that sense of all hands on deck mentality, which in itself can be incredibly rewarding and diverse. And this means you get to experience a wide range of activities that can give you that chance to expand your skill set. So working in the charitable sector can be a really enriching experience, both personally and for your career. And often this very personal calling comes from a moral, social, cultural, political, or even religious motivation, rather than the typical appeals for business or commercial pursuits. It is so rare that you get to work for an organisation where you can walk in every day and know that you are actually trying to make a difference to the community, to the residents who live in that community, or to the much wider world. So working for a charity is about working for a bigger vision, as well as individual goals and ambitions. So take a look at what the charity sector has to offer you. You may well be surprised.